Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of Fluffy Kerfuffle. Now, this is an absolutely delightful little story. Now, this was sent to me, and so this is a copy that was sent for review, and I was very happy to review it. There's the details, obviously, of the author, Manevich, and, well, beautiful little tale, told from the perspective of the cats. There must be a vast number of cats in this story. There's lots and lots of cats. And they've all got their own weird characters. They've all got their battles that they go through. And I just think it's just absolutely brilliant the way they sort of organise themselves, the relationships between the cats. Very well told, very nicely done. Now, I'm not really certain exactly where I would, because I'm not really keen on say pigeonhole, oh, this is only for like 5-year-olds to 10-year-olds, or whatever. I think personally, books can be read from anyone. I can book a book that's for a 3-year-old and thoroughly enjoy it. You can look at it and see, that's a great story. Likewise this. So I'm not certain where you would where anyone would say this fits. That's the only slight thing. But if you were trying to say fit it for a particular publisher or something, it's going to be tricky, I would have thought. But still. However, I just thought it was a great little story. The characters, I love Mrs Zabinski. Really, really nice, and I love the cat's relationship, and also the husband as well. Just absolutely great, and all the sort of relationships with food and sausages, and lots of intensity that comes from the cats. And I think it's just great. Caesar salad meowed out, and it's all told in as it says here, translated from meowenese to humanese. I don't know why you needed to put that, just to put to human, but still, I think it's just absolutely delightful all the way through the story. It's been 9 grocery cycles since the beast left the apartment. None of the cats knew what it was, but none wanted to. Mittens still shuddered. So there's a lot of different cast members to keep up with, and that's somewhat slightly for me. But the thing is, that's very good about this, it's got a brilliant little, right at the front, a list. So they're espresso, Mittens, you've got all the various cast members. Gives you little details about them. And I really enjoy that sort of thing. I think wish all books, novels would have sort of a cast list at the front. I think it's just quite good. Because quite often I come to books, I read a book and I put it down, I come back to it about 3 months later or something, I pick it up again, read it, and I have to then start thinking, that character, who's that character again? What was they doing? I have no idea. I know some people probably keep lists and write down and all various markers on things. I don't. So when I pick them up, I think, So it would be nice just to have a think, that's that character related to that character. And then you can put it all back together and that's what it is. You got here Mr. Snuggles, Patrick, torn-eared, battle-scarred Black Tom with most of his claws missing. And that's the way for this book. And I love this, peruse the bookshelf, as cats do, of course. I wouldn't let any cat near my bookshelves. That's probably why I've got no cats. I love cats, though. I have stayed in houses with cats, and they do have their own characters, personalities. One of my favourites, Claude. I loved Claude. Sadly, Claude died and was killed, car accident. But it was just one of those things that just every morning would open the door and would come up and try and so I could go and get those bits of food. Just persistent, very persistent. But then you have the other cat, and you just Tiddles, and it was silly names, I know, cats, but they all got their characters, and this book really does capture that. I think it's just absolutely delightfully told all the way through. I love. Do you know where Mrs Zabinski might be? As of course cats always do. That sort of stuff, and also delightful. You got this as well. Lovely illustrations. I love the illustrations. Times there's bits of the artwork that I look at occasionally. I think I'm not saying cats get into that sort of pose, but it does I guess, if you're looking at it, trying to make them a human feel to it. At the same time, obviously, all being cats. How many cats are in the story? Lots of cats. That occasionally you look at the cat and I'm thinking, does any cat sit like that? They maybe do. They've got that sort of way they lean out. There's just odd pose. Occasionally it's like the tongue occasionally struck me. But some of the pictures are absolutely delightful. This is a lovely one here. Kitty, the Great Coalition. Great, another little story. They're all nicely broken in chapters that I think is just great. And you've got all the pictures around the house there. And you obviously got Mrs Zabinski going there. And the sausages. Can't beat sausages. to be honest, I never remember a cat going for sausages. I tried. Again, Claude loved these sort of dried sort of biscuit ones. And literally I would always put the food, sausages or anything like that, or some food. And I'd actually try and get them to eat that, put those biscuits in. But it was so clever, it would just pull them all out and then lick that, get rid of all the rubbish it didn't want and just have the biscuit. Cats, they just was that. But, and also some cats I remember where they would scratch. Suddenly you'd be, and then, it was always that sort of thing. But I mean, look at the cats there. Just absolutely great. What's that cat doing? That one's falling there. That's some great things. Anyway, I suppose when I look at these sometimes, I think all the artwork, and I ponder it because that's what I do. I do my own artwork and I look at it and I think, why's that cat got there? But still, it is absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely. Mrs Zabinski and those cats and I think those sausages there. However, few criticisms, minor criticisms. It's I think it probably would have worked better if in a smaller format, to be honest. I'm not so certain I like the big size format. I've done a couple of my own ones, not this sort of book, but in this size format. And I look at it and think, I'm not certain it was right. And it has, because it tendency also, the Amazon thing, this is published obviously by Amazon, and you've got the good old bending page. I've got too many books now that have got this bending page. Slightly frustrating. So in many ways, it would be lovely if obviously it was a smaller book, maybe hardback. That would make it so much nicer on the bookshelf. I must admit, it would be a much lovelier book. The font as well. The font's really quite intense. An intense font. I mean, it's great, but it's, oh, that cat there. Oh, that's like 175th and a half grandchild apocalypse. You got that thing. Can't obviously beat that. Confused coffee there. But it's lovely. Absolutely delightful. And I love the front page there. Written by Mark. Actually, that's a bit hard one as well. I mean, the way I've done it on, obviously he's done it on there. But still, those cats are just great. They're really, really nice cats. Zabinski. You know what? I didn't even notice that. Just up there, little Zabinski up there. But this is a great little book. Definitely worth checking out. This excellent book from the Fluffy Kerfuffle. That's a bit of an unusual title, but still thoroughly enjoyable.